Good afternoon, Abbotsford residents. I'm live here in beautiful Abbotsford, BC. I'm Mr. Pelican. I'm running for your mayor. First of all, let's say congratulations to the new American Pope. Today I stand at the Hub gas station. Why I'm at the Hub gas station? I want to take you back a little bit here in time. The Hub gas station is owned by Jake Siemens, Ross Siemens' dad. He brought his son on board and tried to better his son's life, but I guess his son never ever appreciated what his dad done for him. He undermined his dad all his life. His dad sat with me and bought lunch and said that his son was in trouble when he was 30, so it was easy for Henry Brown to own him. When Ross Siemens ran for mayor, he was at this gas station his whole time while Dave Sadu and the establishment propped him up to load him in for Henry Brown. Ross Siemens knew what Henry was doing, and it was illegal, and it's taking away a democracy, and you got to debate mayors, and you got to knock on doors, but Ross Siemens decided that he could take the high road and make quick, easy money and never be caught. That would have might have went down the right way if it wasn't for Henry Braun's son, Darren Braun, leaking what his dad was doing. How his dad was partners with Ron Funkaddiverse, lobbying jobs. How his dad had Abbotsford First, which was Ross's team when he was council, collaborating on all jobs, fast-dropping jobs over the general community. When I become your mayor here in Abbotsford, which I'm working very, very hard, I'm campaigning all the time, you can see that. The first thing I will do with my experience and my team, as I told you, I'm interviewing people to bring them in under my ticket to better Abbotsford, but to give Abbotsford its voice back, give you your city back like George Ferguson did, and make sure them doors are open, and we're going to go after who was doing that, and the first thing we're going to do is get a police department. A proper police department. We're going to forensic audit with the RCMP, and we're going to bring the RCMP in of how these men were all controlled under Henry Brown. The RCMP will do that work for us. As your mayor, the first thing I'm going to do is waive small business license for the year. All your licenses will be waived due to the crunch and the hard times Abbotsford's been through. New businesses that want to approach the Fraser Valley and come in from Langley or Vancouver, they'll have to file for that, and we'll help them. But under my proposal is to wipe out the small business license. That's what I will do. I'm going to help them. Then I'm going to see of how Abbotsford, through its economic drivers we bring in, of how we're going to lower property tax, which we can do. We got very talented people that want to approach me that can do this, and I'm going to work with them and lower your taxes, and you won't be on the hook for these big things. But we're going to go after quite a few things here. One, we're going to go after the new police building for $71 million that was frauded. I know, working for developers and developing and contracting, that you can lobby this job and the money out the back door will be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. That I guaranteed was done on the Abbotsford Police. You can see that police building has had no picture of no public. What did Henry Brown say in the newspaper? Abbotsford's leaders, the leaders. Nobody showed up, not even Ross Siemens. Ross Siemens spends most of his time at his gas station unless Nancy Friesen tells him he's got to take a picture with somebody, and then we'll get Vicky Hopes to post it. The second thing we're going to do is I want to just comment on this, is the BC Conservatives, I was proud to help them along the way to their new team that they have in the Fraser Valley, Bruce Bamman, Corky Neufeld, and Rianne Gaspard. I was very helpful for that, and I was proud to work with them group. I want to change for my community. Then I also was proud to help along the way for the federal Conservatives here of what was taking place. We want them offices to be for the general public and not for establishment to walk in and say, hey, Brad Viss, I need this passed. Can you help me? Oh yeah, Henry, we'll get that done. We saw how Henry Brown had to have Mike DeYoung in and he couldn't get that done. So let me give you a rundown. The Abbotsford newspaper was brought online for Henry Braun, and that was to do damage and control. That's got to be wiped out of your tax dollars. That newspaper is going to be gone under my mayorship. The second thing is we know for sure that the Chamber of Commerce and the debates don't work anymore. They don't work, and neither does the newspaper, because we saw the BC Conservatives step away from the newspaper and the Chamber of Commerce and establishment, and they got elected. Then we saw the federal Conservative MP, Suk Mangill, step away. So this old model of, if you don't listen to what we say, Vicky Hopes in her newspaper and the great toes in the Chamber of Commerce, you won't get elected. That's behind us. We know now we can get elected. We saw Bruce Banman, we saw Corky Neufeld, we saw Rianne Gasper, we saw Suk Mangill. And they didn't need that establishment that Henry convinced everybody that you needed to get elected. But the first thing I want to do is outline, and as my mayor run, I'm going to approach this gentleman and see, and I want to bring him side by side beside me as I make this run for your mayorship. It's Councillor Mogill. I saw Henry Brown use our task force when he was running for mayor to be a voice for your city. He was adamant about what Henry was doing in the city, knowing that it was wrong. That's why he said there was smoke, there was fire. He knew it was wrong for Henry's son. He knew it was wrong with council. He knew it was wrong to block things that needed to go to the city auditorium. And he knew councils were being outweighed, Abbotsford First, over him. And when he ran for mayor, I saw the anguish in the things that Henry Brown did with the private police department on Mogill. I wanted to run to make sure that that wasn't just somebody that Darren Brown said it, and we saw it. I wanted to make sure that Henry had this reputation of doing this, and that's why he was owning this town, and we needed to put a stop to that. So I know Mogill was well-rounded, well-respected in the city, really respected man. On the grounds of the racist that I saw Henry Brown control the Abbotsford police from not allowing the South Asians on the police board, I saw them, all of them, get behind Mike Dion, John Van Doggen, George Perry, Ed Fast, and I saw them all in Henry Brown, but no South Asians on that paper. That showed me that this was a racist establishment and it needed to be called out. That's what that was about. And we saw that. Not even Dave Sidhu got to endorse Mike Dion. But we want to change in Abbotsford. We want our residents to get ahead, and we want our residents' taxes to be cut. And we want a mayor that doesn't work at his gas station while somebody else runs the city, and you can see that. For example, I want you to go to Facebook and I want you to look at Dave Lowens. He tweets out everything Ross needs to do, and Ross doesn't know how to do it. You can see it. He's just sitting in there propped up. You could see when Henry Brown went onto the world stage when Trudeau was here, the ex-mayor trying, because Ross didn't know what he did to do, come on, please stand by me, Dad, stand by me. And Henry Brown did all the work for that, begging of that money, that he had the infrastructure, he had the dikes, he had everything laid out, where Ross just stood there like a mute, didn't know what to do. He didn't know, like a mute. He's supposed to go, the mayor's supposed to go, and he's supposed to call his active MLAs if they get along with him here, which is Bruce Banman and the MPs, and then stand on stage and say we're all. He didn't. This was a selfish move by Henry Brown. Henry Brown figured he could do it all through the newspaper. So I made it clear, ladies and gentlemen. The first thing we're doing is bringing a police department in, the RCMP, and we're going to forensic audit Abbotsford City. And we're going to go in after the Abbotsford police of why this happened under uniform. But we're going to go after the man that's responsible to run this town and look after this town, and how these negligence are happening, how rocks are being hauled on the homeless on your tax dollars when that's an unnecessary thing. How the Mackenzie Bog is still carrying on unnecessary. How Cooper's Farm got its passes with Ross's signs at Abbotsford First there, and you saw Patricia Dreesen's signs. But we're going to go after the answers of how this man can work every day at his gas station full time, with a former history of mayors, George Ferguson, Marion Reeves, Bruce Banman, George Perry, and Henry Brown. Henry Brown was the worst. It took all his time plus overtime and double time. And this man runs the city only, like, it looks like 2 days a week. The rest of the time he's at his gas station, because he was never the mayor. Everybody knew he was never the mayor. He didn't want to be the mayor. He couldn't govern the mayor. He can't answer his residents. He couldn't enter the debate. That's why he had to get great toes to do that. So I'm running for mayor of Abbotsford. In weeks to come, you'll be getting flyers, you'll be getting notes, you'll be getting all these things, and I'm going to show you, as I put this team, what's in behind me, what wants to help my community and help our residents together. The first thing we're going to do, waive all small businesses license. That's going to help you get up and get running. Then we're going to look with our team of Cutting the property tax won't be increased, and then we're going to go after them, we're going to lower them. But we are going to go after Ron Funkadivers. Whether the building gets built or whether it gets stopped, we're going to go after that because that was illegal. That was insider trading, and it was fraud, and Henry was lobbying that to wrong front. And that is why I won our RCMP. So private police don't come up and tell you drop a lawsuit and drop videos, smash phones and smash cameras. And them men that are in uniform can be on the world stage so their families and everybody can see their names and who they are. And under my ticket, you're going to be let go. You won't even get another chance. When somebody comes to the community with such a major complaint, I won't ask the Safety Standards Act and the chief to get involved. You're fired. I'll make it clear to the residents, and you're gone, and I'll cut your pension, and I'll strip you of everything, because you're supposed to respect that uniform, and you're supposed to make people want to respect you, and that was taken away. And now these babies stole that money, and I want that money back for our community. I guarantee you, under my leadership, ladies and gentlemen, we will get that. But this man needs to go back to working at his gas station. I'm live, Abbotsford, British Columbia.